Is there a way to stop gun violence? And if so, how could you do it?
You have to be able to I don't want to say beat, but I guess essentially that's what it is. You have to be able to make laws that the powers that be support. I think Obama really came close, but he had to make an executive order against gun violence. An executive order means that Congress or nobody that makes laws supports you. So when you're the president of one of the most powerful countries in the world and your government doesn't support you, it is very hard to get laws passed. Now you have to ask yourself, why wouldn't the government want to support gun violence and slowing it down, stopping it, or what have you? Is because there's no money in stopping it. There's money in allowing it to do whatever it does. And that's sad because gun violence puts people in hospitals, which is more money. Gun violence puts people in jail, private jails, which are run privately by the private sector, which is $1 billion industry. So if you take away gun violence, you take away the laws for guns, there is no hospital bills that will occur. So the medical industry will lose millions of dollars a year. The jails will lose multi-million dollars over time and years, because gun violence gets you 25. If you murder somebody, gets you 25 to 30 years to life in prison. So that's 25 to 30 years or forever being a slave to a private corporation. I don't know if you have a 9-to-5, but people that are listening that have 9-to-5, what if you were a slave to your 9-to-5 for 30 plus years and all they paid you was 17 cents an hour? Mm-hmm. How much money would that corporation make off of you? So, and then if I came to you and said, yo, let's stop whatever it is that's bringing you to that, let's stop whatever that corporation is. Would you stop it? Would you create laws to stop it? You probably would create laws to make it easier for me to go to jail because of gun violence. So when you talk about private sectors of jails, the gun manufacturers, and the medical corporation, I guarantee you that the three or the powerful people within these three corporations have private meetings places, and they bring legislation to our federal level, to our state level, and to our city, which is passed down to our city level. So when I bring legislation to the senators, and I say we need to make harder laws on guns, but then in Chicago you hear about the gangsters saying we walked into an alleyway and there was a truckload of machine guns and Dracos in an empty caravan.
Yeah, Chicago just has over 700 killings in 2007, 2016.
I think it was 765, 763, something like that.
Yeah, like is that if you, let's say for example, I know you support the stopping of gun violence, right?
I do.
All right, so let's say everybody in Chicago just stopped for about 30 seconds to a minute just to hear your message to them. I'm talking about the ones who've killed, the ones that's in prison, anybody who has anything to do with gun violence. Like, it's a brand new year. Let's say they say, you know what, do it all. We need you to come in and give this message to them. Like, what would you give if everybody in Chicago stopped everything that they were doing to listen to you talk about gun violence? What would you say?
I mean, I would just say the same thing, man, is that we have to stop becoming a pawn in the government's chess game. And a lot of times, like I said earlier, it's systemic. It's systematically put in place for us to react the way that we react. If you put an uneducated person, first of all, you do things so that they cannot acquire the equivalent education as a counterpart or someone else. That's systemic. Then because they don't get that education, now they can't acquire certain jobs or whatever it is, so they have no wit about them or understanding about them to how to maneuver through life in a certain way. It limits them. Anytime there is limitation, now you have to supply the things that are lesser for the people who are limited. You know what I mean? So now when that happens and they are limited to resources and things of that nature, they react differently. They react differently than people who have the understanding. So, and I don't want to confuse the listeners and the viewers out there when I say education, because I don't want you to think that you have to have 27 degrees to be successful in this world. You just have to have an understanding of what it is that you're trying to accomplish, what it is that you want to be, and then you will figure out which are the right and wrong ways that you are receiving it. So things are put in urban communities that are not put into higher tax paying bracket communities, and that's purposely done that way. Mm-hmm. So that you can get a different reaction. If you put two mice in a maze, that the maze has one ending, one entrance, one exit. But you put two mice in there, two hungry mice. Oh no, excuse me, one hungry mouse, and one that's not hungry. The one that's not hungry is gonna probably look for the exit. He's gonna shoot straight for the exit. But the one that's hungry, he's gonna get trapped up all in that maze looking for that piece of cheese, and you probably put it in a corner where it's a dead end. So he's gonna go straight there because he's hungry. That was the system. That's a system that you built, and you purposely put the food for the hungry mouse in the area where he will become trapped. And then you will say, look, you got all trapped up. Yeah, but he was starving. The one that you fed and you kept healthy shot straight for the exit. And then you said, look, he made it out. This guy is the best. And that's just my example of how that we're done in our communities.
Dental problems don't get better the longer you wait. They just get worse and more expensive. The #1 dental plan in America today guarantees to save you 20 to 80% on all dental procedures you can get done in the dental office. Regular teeth cleanings all the way up to cosmetic dentistry. No waiting periods. Contact a benefit consultant immediately to find out what open enrollment specials are available in your state today. 888-674-9409.